Am I late?
No, I don't think so. Hey, you look nice.
Oh, well, I feel nice. This is a terrific day for you to invite me for coffee. Shall I pour? Raj, sit down. Too much wedding celebration?
No, actually, it was a rather sober afternoon.
Oh.
How about you? I lost track of you after the ceremony.
Oh, well, you know, I was just talking to Frank. Roger, are you still concerned about Faith and Tom? Because if you are, forget it. They are married now, and there's nothing you can do about it except be supportive and hope that it works.
Yeah, well, I'm prepared to do that. It's just, it was so ironic with Pat and Delia showing up. I mean, I can't get it out of my mind. Did you hear her carrying on in the kitchen?
Dee? No, Frank and I were on the 4th floor landing talking. What happened?
Pat and Delia split. I think for good. While they were on the cruise, Pat discovered that she could see, and she admitted that she could see for weeks.
Why didn't we know that?
Well, in particular, why didn't I? I mean, I thought I had a rather fine appreciation of Delia's capacity to deceive.
So, she finally got through to Patrick. But on Faith's wedding day?
There was one final straw, which I provided. She wasn't pregnant when he married her. She already miscarried. The miscarriage that she faked later on was one of Delia's finer performances.
Damn. Well, I'll tell you one thing. At least maybe now she is out of that family's lives.
Yeah, I think so. Even Bob is disgusted with her. Even Johnny wouldn't let her stay at their house last night. So she's in the apartment, utterly alone.
Roger, you are not really feeling sorry for her.
Awful, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously you have known about this miscarriage for a while. And you're still concerned about her?
Look, if anybody is equipped to handle Delia on her own
Don't
terms...
tell me that. I mean, I know all about it. You know things about her that nobody else does. But she has hurt you. She hurts people. Now, do you want more of the same?
Oliver, listen, as I said, no one can handle her on her own terms as well as I can. Like, I stopped by to see her a couple of hours ago. I mean, she hadn't slept. She was wandering around in the same clothes that she had on yesterday. I mean, she didn't make sense half the time. I mean, disconnected thoughts, half sentences. Jill, she was very quiet. I thought she was putting on an act, and I told her so. But I've had time to think about it, and she wasn't.
Oh, another nervous breakdown.
I suggested that she make an appointment with her psychiatrist as soon as possible.
Oh, well, I hope that she does, because we just may need her sane. Frank and I.
Go on.
Well, it goes like this. He asked me to marry him, and I agreed.
Jill, what happened? You're being so careful.
What happened is that I love him, and I've always loved him, and I am sick to death of being cautious.
I'm going to lose another sister.
Oh, no, you're not. You're gaining a brother-in-law. And maybe sooner than you think, because Frank is going to try to get a church annulment on the basis that Dee was psychologically dependent on him when they got married. So, if that happens, we will have a marriage in the church.
Well, won't you need Delia's cooperation?
Well, possibly. Frank is talking to Father McShane today.
Well, what if Frank can't get the annulment?
Then we will have a civil ceremony after the election. I mean, there's no point in getting into religious controversy in the middle of a campaign.
Baby, I'm happy for you.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you. Do you know how wonderful it feels to be rid of all those doubts? Can you believe that I can't wait to be married?
What I can't believe is that you're setting yourself up again. I'll give you 3 to 1. The wedding never takes place. are sure this is okay. Maybe because...
.com to order now. You will never have to be cold again. Call now.
Now, wait, hold on. You are sure this is okay? Maybe because we can talk out on the field. We've done that before.
When Jimmy shows up for batting practice, nobody talks, you just take cover. It's a relief to return to the safety of my office.
The safety, right. Yeah, I noticed the kid's got a lot of power.
And absolutely no control. It's a devastating combination.
Well, you'll trade him. You'll trade him. Remember Stanley Jones from the old team? You turned him into a first-rate slugger.
I had more courage then. I had chicken wire over the stained glass windows then.
Oh, Mac. It's been a long time, huh?
Too long.
Pretty soon now, you'll be working out with little John.
Yeah, I hope so.
Mac, this is an important part of who I am, you know? I mean, the church, this parish. I don't want to lose it.
Hey, why should you have to?
Well, some interesting things are about to happen. I don't know, I guess I should lay them all out for you. Pat and Delia, first of all, are in very bad shape.
Yeah, I know. She came by here early this morning, so I'm up to date there.
Well, she married Pat under false pretenses. She's fixated on him and on my family.
Well, we both know the feelings that Delia has about the family go back a long way.
Yes. She hung around my folks, and she's worshipped Pat since she was a kid. She only got involved with me after Pat broke up with her when he went away to college. I suppose there was something neurotic about her even then. The way she suddenly turned to me. She was beautiful. I was crazy about her. She said she loved me, but she also said that she had to be a Ryan. One of us, part of us. Mac, what I'm trying to say is that she married my family. I was little more than a substitute for Pat.
Oh, it's certainly plausible, Frank, and very sad.
Yes. But what I was wondering was whether or not it constitutes grounds for an annulment.
Oh.
Is that too far out?
No, I just didn't see what you were leading up to. Hey, that's quite a theory.
Yeah, well, it's been kicking around in the back of my head for months, ever since I've started seeing Jill again. And that's the rest of the story. See, we are going to be married. Right here in St. Aloysius, with you doing the honors, if I can possibly arrange it. No. What do you think?
Well, strictly on a personal level, I think you might be right. Perhaps there was a kind of neurotic transference that made Delia want to marry you.
Yes.
Perhaps that could nullify her intent and invalidate the sacrament. But I'm not sure how you could prove that to the Chancery's satisfaction.
Suppose Delia would testify about her own frame of mind. What her real intentions were.
And do you imagine she would?
Maybe.
Frank.
I haven't asked her. I haven't talked to her. But I'm fairly sure anyway, that she would want to be back in the good graces of the church. All right, she was never a letter of the law Catholic, but her emotional ties they're always very strong.
That's true.
And now with this break, with Pat and my family, well, see what I'm saying? It's the first time she's ever been on her own without the Ryans. It would be the most natural thing in the world for her to turn to the church for support. Now, an annulment would remove all the barriers for her. She just could be very willing to cooperate.
Now, wait. You're making an assumption you probably shouldn't.
What?
That Delia's able to evaluate her situation rationally.
Well, how bad was she when you saw her?
She was strange. Now, I know her well enough not to go by appearances, but my instinct today was to take her seriously. It even occurred to me to suggest that she check herself into the hospital. But our conversation never got that far. I left the room for a few moments. When I came back, she was gone.
Where does that leave me with the annulment? I mean, can I even make a beginning without a statement from her?
Oh, yes, listen. The whole proceeding begins with a call from me as your pastor to the Chancery office.
Uh-huh. Well, I hope to one of a friend of yours.
In answer to that oblique question, I can only earnestly recommend to the office that they begin an investigation of your case. Now, more I cannot promise.
Thank you. That'll do fine. For now.
Okay. Now listen, I'll let you know. I'll contact you as soon as I know anything. All right?
Thanks, man.
And give my love to all. All right?
It's bad enough to eavesdrop, but then to comment on what you overheard, that's really crass. Don't you think?
Well, crass is a great word, but I can't comment about Seneca. I'm an innocent bystander.
Made a simple statement of fact.
Oh, fact is Seneca's definition of what he believes. Fiction, everybody else's point of view.
Hannah, it's yours. When it comes to Frank Ryan.
Roger, I think I'll be on my way. I'm sorry for the interruption.
Oh, please, don't run off on my account. I guess I should be flattered to know that I still have the power to affect you at all, but I'm really not trying to upset you.
You don't affect me whatsoever. On second thought, Roger, maybe I will stay and finish my coffee.
Why not?
You're making a god-awful mistake.
Seems to me like we've had this conversation once before. Or did you forget?
No. I remember. How could you possibly believe that he's going to marry you?
For 1,000 excellent reasons that I'm not going to begin to explain to you because you are by far too pig-headed to want to listen.
And thus history repeats itself. And you're back in that miserable cocoon. Blind, trusting. I think I almost had you out of that.
You really do see yourself as the white knight, rescuing the damsel in distress. But what you really did was you lied to me for an entire year. What a romantic you are. You know, if I was an innocent bystander like Roger, I would be charmed. But unfortunately, I was the victim. Roger, are you charmed?
Not entirely.
So, when's the big day? Or hasn't the councilman been able to work you into a schedule yet? Oh, do we refer to him now as the senator?
You needn't refer to him at all. And don't worry about the date. You're not invited.
I know. I'm not voting for him. Jill, Frank is already married to politics.
Well, at least he isn't in love with himself the way you are.
Look, I haven't always been right.
Oh.
I've admitted that enough times. But Jillian, I am right about Frank.
The hell you are.
Temper.
Hey, listen, why don't you just get out of here?
Yeah, I'll leave if Jill wants me to.
Stay. Now, you are the one that is intruding. I did not ask for your opinion, and furthermore, I do not respect it.
Nevertheless, I still care enough about you and Edmund to tell you that Frank is poison. Jill, you don't want the truth, but I am...
The truth? The truth is that with Frank Ryan, I am free to make my own choices, and that is something that you could never understand. Because all your relationships with women revolve around a battle for control. And you need to win by hook or by crook. And I suppose that you enjoy that, but I don't. I like to be in control of my life. And with Frank, I am free to make my own decisions for myself and for my son. Oh, boy, none of this computes, does it? I mean, it simply doesn't get through to you.
I think you're about to destroy yourself.
Oh, come now, Seneca.
What? You think she's indestructible? Huh? And you promote that impression, too. Jillian Coleridge, alone against the world. Equal to any and all situations. Well, let me tell you something. You are not equal to Frank Ryan and the emotional trauma that he is going to give you.
What you are really saying is that I am not your equal. Well, let me tell you something. I am.
Oh, boy, you talk about not listening.
Oh, I'm listening and I am hearing. Probably better than I ever did before.
I waste my time.
Well, that was certainly your round. No doubt about it.
What really shakes me up is that I almost married that person.
He's leave the table.
Hi. What are you doing here? Well, rumor has it that Jill's in the staff lounge.
Ah. Give her my love.
Pat, look, she's not expecting me yet. We're going to have lunch together anyway.
Judging from that look, I'd say you heard the latest on the home front.
Yeah. I saw Bob and Da earlier. Pat, I'm sorry.
So am I. I take the boat with Delia, I miss the boat with Faith. Same old story. No, not quite, actually, because I don't have either one of them now.
Da said Delia's staying at your apartment.
Yeah, I'm at the folks.
How long is that going to go on?
For the time being, till I figure out the next step. So, how do you like them apples?
I guess it's been a long time coming.
Yeah. She wasn't pregnant, you know?
Oh, Patty.
I didn't have to marry her at all. I didn't have to fight with Da or bleed with Mom. All that pain was entirely unnecessary.
You're furious, and you should be.
No, I'm still too numb. Plus, there's the fact that I cooperated.
Look, I know how easy that is. I cooperated with her, too, but it didn't mean that it was entitled to endless punishment. And it doesn't mean that for you either.
No, but I am angry with myself. Faith is the one that really got raked over the coals by me and Delia. Right now, that's what I can't live with. I did something terrible to her, and it may affect her for the rest of her life.
Pat, she didn't marry Tom on the rebound. It was a carefully considered decision.
She shouldn't have been available to Tom.
You still love her?
Sure. But I'll just file that under unresolved feelings and forget about it.
No, that's dangerous business. It could turn around and bite you someday.
When it does, I'll get myself to a psychiatrist.
Wouldn't it be simpler to sit down and talk to Faith? Why don't you two just sit down together and let some of this out?
I'd like to be able to tell her how I feel. We do love each other. Maybe some of that can be transferred into friendship. To a certain extent, that's what was happening this winter. But we were uneasy underneath. Too many cross currents. I hate the thought of all that being dredged up again. On the other hand, then why should we have to drop out of each other's lives entirely?
Exactly. Now, why don't you just start real slow? Dredge up just a little.
Well, that's a thought. Mm-hmm. I might, when she gets back from the honeymoon.
Uh-oh. Chief's on the warpath.
Hello.
Hi, Pat.
Hello.
Have you, seen Jill around?
I have, yes.
Oh, well, then she's told you our good news, hasn't she?
Kiss Ready Lips.
They're smart.
Okay.
Know when?
Hey, hold it.
Smart.
Hey, hold it.
What good news?
Jill and I are getting married.
Hey! No. Why didn't you say something?
Well, I meant to.
Well, do you know when?
No, I don't. It depends on a couple of things.
Listen, I want to find out all the details soon, okay? I'll talk to you.
Okay. Talk to you later, Pat.
What does it depend on? Whether or not the polls show that a married candidate gets more votes?
Look, I know you don't have anything important to say, so if you don't mind, I'll go about my business.
How many times did you promise to marry your
Seneca, look, I am not in the mood today.
Listen, Frank, I have a few important things to say. If you're not afraid to listen to them.
Oh. Stop, we can go.
Now listen to me. If you care at all about Jill, don't do this to her. You are making promises that you can't or won't keep. Jill is getting high on marriage plans.
You know nothing about my promises. Zilch.
Listen,
And how dare you? And where the hell do you get off pontificating to me?
I know because I was there the last time you let Jill
You
down.
weren't on the inside of that, Seneca. You only saw the outside. You haven't the foggiest notion of what Jill and I are all about.
Hey, now listen. A pain is part and parcel of my profession. I can damn well evaluate it when I see it.
Look.
And the pure psychic pain that you put Jill through.
Oh, look, this has been going around in my mind for a couple of months. You mind if I just get it out? This is going to sound ridiculous, but what sports did you play in school?
What, am I supposed to laugh?
Laugh, whatever. What sports? It wasn't football.
No. I skied and won medals and I ran long distance.
And you won medals.
Right.
It's just what I figured. No team sports. Because when you work with a team, you learn how to lose. And lose graciously. What are you, a rotten loser?
I don't believe this. You can actually reduce this situation to a football game? Oh, my God. How can she possibly begin to relate to a mind that works like
What
that?
I'm saying, Seneca, is that your whole problem is that you can't reduce the situation. You think you've lost Jill. So the whole world is supposed to put up with your ranting and raving. But you think you're so special? You're not. Men lose women they love every day. I've been there. We both know that. Pat's lost faith. Now, Pat, there's a guy who was going through real agony, but he's not taking it out on the rest of the world. He hasn't grabbed Tom and Faith to bluster about how destructive their marriage is. He's dealing with his private pain privately, and you could take a damned fine lesson from him.
Boy, a typical politician making parallels where they don't exist. Forget about Jill. Forget about Edmund. Forget the issues.
The real issues are not Jill and Edmund. They are Seneca Bolak's enormous, bruised ego. And I have given it enough of my time. More than enough.
Spend breakfast in bed with SoapNet. Sleep in, curl up, and check out with back-to-back episodes of One Tree Hill and Beverly Hills 90210. Breakfast in bed, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Saturday and Sunday on SoapNet.